my dear students, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. This is Sajida Islam, Assistant Professor of English of Milestone College, inviting you all to today's lesson on amazing children and teens who have changed the world. Unit 6, Lesson 5. Hope all of you are doing well and you are studying very hard for your upcoming examination. Dear students, in our previous lessons, we have read about the issues of adolescent boys and girls. In our today's lesson, we are going to read about the extraordinary achievements of some children and the teenagers. Dear learners, it is an adult's world. Here, the adults, they make the money, they create the law, they make the decisions, and they have all the freedoms. But there have been some exceptions. Some extraordinary children, some child visionaries, some of these boys and girls, they have changed the world through their good actions or examples. Some of them mobilized millions of people for a good cause, and the others, they have simply moved us by their generous and hopeful view of humanity. Dear learners, now let's read some of these amazing people today.
Amazing children and teens who have changed the world are Dylan Mahalingam, Alexandra Alex Scott, Ryan Railjack, Katie Stagliano, and Anne Frank. Dylan Mahalingam. He is a teenager. He is the co-founder of a non-profit international development and youth empowerment organization. He is a great humanist. Those children who are affected by natural disaster are greatly helped by him. Those children who are suffering from AIDS are also helped by this boy. Such a boy possessing humanitarian qualities is rarely found on earth. Dylan Mahalingam. At the age of 9, Dylan Mahalingam became the co-founder of Lil MDGs, a non-profit international development and youth empowerment organization. Empowerment means to give power or right. Okay, so just see, at the age of 9, Dylan became the co-founder of Lil MDGs. What is Lil MDGs? Millennium Development Goals. That is, Lil MDG stands for. Lil MDG's mission is to use the power of the digital media to engage children in the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. So the intelligence of the children and the talent of the children is used to engage children in the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. His organization has mobilized more than 3 million children around the globe to raise $780,000 for tsunami relief and more than $10 million for hurricane relief. Here, mobilized means to assemble. So his organization has mobilized more than 3 million children around the globe. For what? To raise $780,000 for tsunami relief and more than $10 million for hurricane relief. He has built a dormitory in Tibet, a mobile hospital in India, and a school playground serving AIDS orphans in Uganda. Dylan is a youth speaker for the United Nations. So what did he do? He has built a dormitory in Tibet. Tibet is in China, a mobile hospital in India, and a school playground serving AIDS orphans in Uganda. And he's also a speaker for where? For the United Nations. Look at this sweet little girl. Her name is Alexandra Alex Scott. Alexandra Alex Scott was affected by cancer before she was 1 year old. Before her death, she wanted to do something for the children suffering from cancer. She started a lemonade stand to raise money for doctors to help children. She raised over $1 million for cancer research, but we had to lose her at the age of 8. Losing such a girl possessing humanitarian qualities, we're really very, very sad. Alexandra Alex Scott was born in Connecticut in 1996 and was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, a type of childhood cancer, shortly before she turned 1. In 2000, just after turning 4, she informed her mother that she wanted to start a lemonade stand to raise money for doctors to help children. Just imagine, she was only 4 years old. She wanted to start a lemonade stand. Why? Because she wanted to help people. She wanted to start a lemonade stand to raise money for doctors to help children. Her first lemonade stand raised $2,000 and led to the creation of the Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation. If you want to donate continuously, you need to make a foundation. So this little girl, her first lemonade stand raised $2,000. So she raised, it means her lemonade stand raised $2,000 and led to the creation of the Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation. Alex continued her lemonade stands throughout her life, ultimately raising over $1 million toward cancer research. Let me read it again for you. Alex continued her lemonade stands throughout her life. She continued it throughout her life, ultimately raising over $1 million toward cancer research. She passed away in August 2004 at the age of 8. Today, Alex's Lemonade Stand sponsors a national fundraising weekend in the United States, which is popularly known as Lemonade Days. So this little girl passed away. Passed away means she died in August 2004 at the age of 8. Today, Alex's Lemonade Stand sponsors. Sponsors means to donate some money for something, to run something, okay? A national fundraising weekend. So fundraising means raising fund in the weekend in the United States, which is popularly known as Lemonade Days. So you see, she passed away in August 2004 at the age of 8. And today, Alex's Lemonade Stands, they are sponsoring a national fundraising weekend in the United States, and it is popularly known as Lemonade Days. Each year, as many as 10,000 volunteers at more than 2,000 Alex's Lemonade Stands make a difference for children with cancer. Ryan Beljak. Just look at this boy. How old is he? What do you think? Ryan Beljak is a teenager. He loves other children and adolescents from the core of his heart. Children in Africa were badly in need of drinking water and sanitation. He felt the crisis. By working hard, he earned enough money and set up a well foundation. He bought access to clean water and sanitation to many people. Such a teenager possessing humanitarian qualities is rarely found nowadays. In 1998, 6-year-old Ryan Beljak was shocked to learn that children in Africa had to walk many kilometers every day just to fetch water. Ryan decided he needed to build a well for a village in Africa. So I think all of you know the meaning of well. Well is a hole on the earth. It is made to draw water. By doing household chores and public speaking on clean water issues, Ryan raised enough money with which his first well was built in 1999 at the Ngolo Primary School in a northern Ugandan village. So what did he do? By doing household chores, it means he has done the work in the house. He has done household tasks, and he was delivering lectures on clean water issues. So by doing household chores and public speaking on clean water issues, Ryan raised enough money with which his first well was built in 1999 at the Ngolo Primary School in a northern Ugandan village. Ryan's determination led to Ryan's Well Foundation, which has completed 667 projects in 16 countries, bringing access to clean water and sanitation to more than 714,000 people. So Ryan's strong will led to Ryan's Well Foundation, which has completed how many projects? 667 projects in 16 countries, bringing access to clean water and sanitation to more than 714,000 people. What is the meaning of sanitation? Sanitation, it is a process. What type of process you think? Yes? Any idea? Anyone from you? Sanitation is the process of keeping places free from dirt, infection, disease, etc. by removing waste, trash, and garbage.
Dear students, we have read Dylan Mahalingam, Alexandra Alexis Scott, Ryan Beljak, and their amazing contributions. For the development of this whole universe, we all need to do some humanitarian tasks. It's not only the adults, but also the very small children. They can change the world through their benevolent tasks. Dear learners, now we are going to read another two inspiring girls. They are Katie Stagliano and Anne Frank.
Look at this beautiful little girl and her cabbage. Her name is Katie Stagliano. She is also a humanist. This little girl, she brought a seedling. Seedling means young plant of cabbage. And it grew up like this. Let's see the story. In 2008, 9-year-old Katie Stagliano brought a tiny cabbage seedling home from school. As she cared for her cabbage, it grew to 40 pounds. Katie donated her cabbage to a soup kitchen where it helped to feed more than 275 people. So in 2008, just see the age, 9-year-old Katie Stagliano. She brought a tiny cabbage seedling. She brought it home from school. As she cared for her cabbage, it grew to 40 pounds, so big. Katie donated her cabbage to a soup kitchen where it helped to feed more than 275 people. Just imagine how big the cabbage is. Moved by the experience of seeing how many people could benefit from the donation of fresh produce to soup kitchens, Katie decided to start vegetable gardens and donate the harvest to help feed people in need. So moved by the experience of seeing how many people could benefit. So she was moved by seeing that so many people are benefited from her donation of fresh produce. Fresh produce, it means agricultural products like fruits, vegetables. So she was just moved by the experience of seeing how many people could benefit from the donation. Katie decided to start vegetable gardens and donate the harvest to help feed people in need. So what did Katie decide? She decided to start vegetable gardens and donate the harvest. Harvest means the amount of crops that is collected. Okay, so donate the harvest to help feed people in need, those who are poor people. She wanted to donate the harvest to those poor people in need. Today, Katie's Crops donates thousands of pounds of fresh produce from numerous gardens to organizations that help people in need. Numerous means many. So Katie's Crops donates thousands of pounds of fresh produce. It means fresh vegetables from numerous gardens. It means from many gardens to organizations that help people in need. So there are many organizations that are helped by this little girl. And now I think many of you know this girl. Probably Anne Frank is the most well-known victim of the Nazi Holocaust of World War II. During this time, she spent 2 years in hideout with her family in Nazi-occupied Amsterdam. But she was betrayed and discovered in 1944. Consequently, she was sent to the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, where she died of typhus. In 1945, she described her life from 1942 to 1944 in her diary. Later on, the diary was published by her father. The diary is entitled as The Diary of a Young Girl. Anne Frank is perhaps the most well-known victim of the Nazi Holocaust of World War II. Anne, born on 12 June 1929, was given a diary at the age of 13, in which she chronicled her life from 1942 to 1944. So perhaps means probably, and is probably the most well-known victim of the Nazi Holocaust. Do you know the meaning of Holocaust? Holocaust is, it is a situation in which many people are killed. We can say mass killing or genocide. So Holocaust means a situation in which many people are killed. So Anne was perhaps the most well-known victim of the Nazi Holocaust of World War II. Anne, born on 12 June 1929, was given a diary at the age of 13 in which she chronicled. Chronicled means she has described the events in order, okay? Chronicle means describing something, describing the events in order. During this time, Anne spent 2 years in hiding with her family in Nazi-occupied Amsterdam in a secret annex with 4 other Jews. Secret annex. What is the meaning of annex? Annex means an additional building. So during this time, Anne spent 2 years in hiding with her family in Nazi-occupied Amsterdam in a secret annex, in a secret additional building with 4 other Jews. Betrayed and discovered in 1994 and was sent to the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, where she died of typhus in 1945. Anne's father, Otto Frank, was the only occupant of the secret annex to survive the war. So she was betrayed. Betrayed means she was deceived and discovered in 1994. And she was sent to Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. Do you have any idea about the concentration camp? Yes? Concentration camp, it is a camp where a large number of people, they live there, okay? In the concentration camp, they live there in extremely bad conditions. It is a kind of prison where people are kept in extremely bad condition. We can say prison camp. Anne's father, Otto Frank, was the only occupant of the secret annex to survive the war. So only his father was alive in that secret annex at the time. And this little girl, Anne Frank, she died of typhus in 1945. Just remember that she died of what? She died of typhus in 1945. And Anne's father, Otto Frank, was the only occupant of the secret annex to survive the war. In 1947, he published Anne's diary as the diary of a young girl. Anne's account of her internment. Internment means confinement, as well as her deep belief in humanity, has become one of the world's most widely read books. So this book, her diary, it has become the world's most widely read books. Okay, so in 1947, his father published Anne's diary as the diary of a young girl, and Anne's account of her internment. Internment means putting somebody in prison during a war for political reasons or military reasons, although they have not been charged with a crime. Dear learners, now let's learn some of the vocabularies from this lesson. Empowerment, to give power or right. Dormitory, a place where several people live, or hall of residence. Mobilize, to assemble. Sanitation, the process of keeping places free from dirt, infection, disease, etc., by removing waste, trash, and garbage. Internment, putting somebody in prison during a war, although they haven't been charged with a crime. Chronicled, to describe events in order. Settling, a young plant, concentration camp, prison, where people are kept in extremely bad condition. Holocaust, a situation in which many people are killed. Fetch, to go and bring. Fundraising, raising fund. Dear learners, now we will have a look at some question and answer from this lesson. Number 1, what are Dylan's contributions to some countries mentioned in the texts? Answer, Dylan has built a dormitory in Tibet, a mobile hospital in India, and a school playground serving AIDS orphans in Uganda. What is the contribution of Lil MDGs? Answer, Lil MDG has mobilized more than 3 million children around the globe to raise $780,000 for tsunami relief and more than $10 million for hurricane relief. What did Alexandra Scott do as a social worker? Alexandra Scott established lemonade stand to raise money for doctors to help children. Later, she created Lemonade Stand Foundation, which raised over $1 million toward cancer research. How did Katie Stagliano raise money to help the poor? Katie Stagliano raised money to help the poor by producing fresh produce and donating them to organizations that help the people in need. What is Anne Frank famous for mainly? Answer, Anne Frank is mainly famous for her diary, The Diary of a Young Girl, which describes the repression of the Nazi administration and her deep belief in humanity.
My dear students, we have read this lesson thoroughly today. This lesson is very important not only for your inspiration or encouragement. This is very important for your examination as well. Dear learners, you need to read this text thoroughly. Read it in between the lines for answering multiple choice questions, short questions, flow chart, fill in the blanks with clues, fill in the blanks without clues, and rearrangement. Dear learners, hope you have understood today's text nicely. If you have not understood anything, if there is any problem, please don't hesitate to talk to your subject teacher. He or she will make it clear to you. We all are waiting to see you in our glorious and beautiful campus. Hope to see you all very soon. Thanks very much indeed.